Está silenciada, Miss.
Ok, un payasito en mi cara, por favor. Yo tenía mil hablando sola. Okay, so I was telling you that this is the first unit of the last book of the American Speak Out, which is called Identity. So we are going to start working with the vocabulary, and then tomorrow we're gonna go with the rest of the content of this unit. Okay. So let's go and read here. It's well, the title of the topic is Me and My Languages. So vocabulary language, and it says read questions from 1 to 10. What do the words involved mean? Check with other students or your teacher, then think about your answers to the questions. So first of all, we're gonna read the questions, then we're gonna discuss the words, and at the end, we're gonna answer them, okay? Or, well, yeah, let's do it like that. Mariana, can you help me to read the questions, please? Just read them.
Yes. Why are you learning English? For work, exams, travel, etc.
Continue, please, with all of them.
Okay, todas.
Yes.
Okay. Do you speak any language apart from your mother tongue and English?
Tongue.
Tongue and English. 3. Who is the best language learning in your family? 4. Did you use and learning strategies when studying your second language? Which? 5. When was the first time you used a foreign language outside the classroom? 6. Do you have the chance to speak right to native speakers regularly? 7. Is it important for you to learn slang or jargon in English, or do you only want to learn standard English? 8. Which is more important to you when you learn to speak a language, fluency or accuracy?
Accuracy.
9. Which skill is the hardest for you? Speaking, listening, reading, or writing? Which is the easiest? 10. Do you know anyone who is a bilingual? What advantage might they have in life?
Okay, so all of these questions are related to learning a language, right? Not necessarily English, a language in general. So let's go to one question, one by one. We're gonna discuss the words we have in bold, and then we're gonna answer the questions, okay? So in the first one, we have a verb. Why are you learning English? Okay, this one is very specific of English. So it says, why are you learning English, guys? For work, exams, traveling, etc. Okay, I'm gonna be asking you here. Well, the first question is, when did you start learning English? I'm gonna be asking this question to some of you, and then I'm gonna go to the question number 1, okay? So Carlos, tell me, Carlos, when was the first time you started learning English?
The first one.
The first time.
Why?
No, but answer my question. When was the first time you started learning English?
In secondary.
Middle school, okay. And so why are you learning English then?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
For exams and travel.
Okay, for exams and travel. Thank you. Bernardo, what about you? Why are you learning English?
Why?
Yes.
Same of Carlos, exams, school.
Okay, only because of that, only because it's mandatory, or because you want to learn English?
No, también, I want to.
You want to, okay. Sophia? When was the first time you started learning English? Or you were in touch with English? Sorry, I unmute you. Okay, sorry, yeah, no lo voy a mover.
¿Cómo era la pregunta?
When was the first time you learned English or you were in touch with English? The first time.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? And why are you learning English?
Because I like it.
Okay, oh, very good. Okay, so learning is a verb. Do you have any trouble with the meaning of learning? No?
What?
Do you have any problem with the meaning of the verb learning?
No.
No? Okay, let's go to number 2. Number 2 says, do you speak any languages apart from your mother tongue? Mother tongue is your first language. So which is Spanish for us. Okay, so it says, do you speak any languages apart from your mother tongue, Spanish, and English? Now this is a question to all of you in general. Do you guys speak another language apart from English and Spanish?
No.
No? Okay. Think about your family, your relatives, your sisters, your uncles, whoever in your family. Who is the best language learner? The person who is learning a language. Who is the best language learner in your family? Who learns the easiest language? Who wants to share?
Me,
You?
currently,
Okay, so in your family, it's you. You are the language learner.
I think so.
You think so? Okay, good, great. Okay, number 4. Did you use any learning strategy when studying your second language? Okay, learning a strategy. A strategy is a word very similar to its meaning in Spanish, which is estrategia. So learning a strategy. Did you use, any learning strategy when studying your language? For example, when you have an exam in English, do you have like some strategies to study or to learn or to memorize some words or grammar rules or like that in English? Yes, no, maybe. You? What do you do?
Hacer notas.
Oh, you take notes
Ajá.
during the video calls or when you're studying, or both?
En las dos.
Okay, both.
Ambas.
Thank you. So Mariana says that she takes notes. Does anybody here have a different strategy? No? Okay, number 5. When was the first time you used a foreign language outside the classroom? Because you know that it's very common and sometimes we can feel confident of speaking English in the classroom because you may say that, oh, I mean, we're all learning the same language, so it's gonna be easy, or it doesn't matter if I make mistakes or something like that. So tell me, when was the first time you used English? Foreign language means un idioma foráneo, right? Could be English, Brazilian or Chinese or whatever language, but we're talking about English. So let's keep it in English. So when was the first time you used English outside the classroom? Have you used English outside the classroom, guys? Writing it as descriptions in pictures and that doesn't count, okay? So I'm talking about using the language, speaking English. Have you spoken English outside the classroom?
Yes.
Yes, Sophia, where?
In Disneyland.
In Disneyland. And how did you feel?
Fine.
You feel fine? Very good. Someone here has used English in a different context? I mean, not in the classroom?
Listening music.
When you listen to music, okay, but I think this question is more like use it with
In a
to
place.
communicate.
I think in a store in
Okay.
US.
Yeah, probably, right? When you ask for food, it's very common that we ask for our food, and that those could be like the first times when we use the language. And sometimes when people come here to our country and they can communicate, we may help them or we may not. Well, it depends on us. Okay, number 6. Do you have the chance to speak or write to native speakers regularly? This is another way of communicating, but it's written. So do you have or have you had an experience where you communicate to native speakers regularly? Native speakers are the ones which English in this case is their first language. Yes or no? Number 6. No?
No.
Okay. Number 7, it says, is it important for you to learn a slang or jargon in English, or do you only want to learn a standard English? Okay, let's separate this. Standard English is the English that we, the teachers, teach you at schools, which is grammar and use of the language and writing. We teach you writing and we practice listening, but everything's very standard. I mean, we don't go to idioms, we don't go to the slang, right? So in standard English is the one that we use and we learn at schools. In courses, every course or whatever, it's the standard English, the one that you learn. So the slang is the, let's say, English, but very informal. When you learn some idioms, when you learn some phrases that are not like little, that they don't have like a little meaning. In jargon is like a specific English depending on groups, because you know that sometimes there's gonna be some groups who will have their own vocabulary to communicate, who will have their own phrases. So slang, it's like informal. In jargon is like very specific of certain groups. Now the question says, is it important for you to learn a slang or jargon, or are you okay with the standard English? Hello?
Teacher,
Yes?
the second word means like formal.
No. For example, slang is informal, totally informal. In jargon is like a specific of a group. Like, for example, I don't know, in the how can I give you an example? In the military, for example, that they have their own vocabulary, they have their own, they have their own phrases that they don't have like a little meaning, but they mean something, but it could be formal or not.
Oh yeah, like more specific.
Technical, yeah, it's more more technical. So the question is, are you okay with the standard English, or you would like to learn slang or jargon? If I could recommend you, I would recommend you to learn by your own the slang or jargon, depending on what you like. Because this way you can learn and get more, how can I say? Because sometimes if you are surrounded by native speakers and they start talking informal, you will probably not be able to fully understand what they're saying. Otherwise, if you study slang English and if you learn new phrases and idioms and that, you won't have any trouble having a conversation with native speakers of your age or maybe younger or even older than you. So that is just a recommendation. But now I don't know if you're interested in learning this or you are okay with the standard English. You tell me. No? You don't want to say anything? Okay. Number 8. Which is more important to you when you learn to speak a language? Fluency or accuracy? Accuracy is that, for example, accuracy es como la precisión con la que usas el lenguaje. That you don't make mistakes, that you speak correctly, that everything is very on point. And fluency is that you can communicate like, let's say quick, that it flows, that you don't hesitate, your language goes and you can communicate without doubts and it's easy for you to speak it. What is better for you, fluency or accuracy?
Accuracy.
Accuracy, okay. And actually, it's not bad to choose one because if you're a fluent speaker, probably with the practice and if you're using English a lot, the accuracy will come. And if you are more focused in the accuracy, once you are confident and you learn all of the grammar and all of the structures that you want to learn first or before, the fluency will come. So it doesn't matter the order in these two. Number 9, which skill, ¿cuál habilidad, which skill is harder for you? Speaking, listening, reading, or writing? Tell me, guys.
Listening.
Listening for you, Mariana. Okay, who else?
Me, listening.
Listening too. Okay. Speaking. Did someone say speaking or was it, or I heard wrong?
Speaking.
Listening, you said, okay. Yeah, probably listening is like the most difficult. Why? Because in my opinion, all of the courses that are taught at schools are more focused in grammar and grammar like written, right? We write, we learn how to write, we read, and we speak it when we participate because at the end, that's what we want to speak it. But sometimes it's kind of hard to understand because we are not that used to listen to English, especially because, I mean, we all speak the same language, but there are many different accents. So if I learn English with a person and then I hear English with another person, it's gonna be different, the accent. So it's gonna be hard for me probably to understand at the beginning, but once I start like listening to different accents, it's gonna be easier and easier and easier. That's why it is very helpful to listen to music and watch movies in English because you listen to different accents and then it's like you practice listening and it's easier for you. It gets easier. So from all of these abilities, from all of these skills, which is the easiest for you guys?
Speak.
Speaking? Another one? Jaciel?
Speaking or reading?
Reading?
Reading, me too.
Reading, yeah, reading is easier, I think, because we see the words, for example, when it's a text, you have to identify things and that, so we practice a lot the reading part, right? Okay, number 10, do you know anyone who is bilingual? What advantages might they have in life? Okay, think about your friends, think about your relatives. Do you know someone who is bilingual? Do you know the advantages this person has because of being bilingual? No?
Maybe in a job.
Okay. Do you know someone, a friend, a relative, that has many advantages because of the second language?
Yes. A cousin.
Your cousin? Okay, and in my opinion, for example, in my case, some of my friends, we speak English too. I'm a teacher, but they decided to study a different career. And now they have very good positions at their jobs because they speak English. So it's a very good tool, especially you that you're gonna be dealing with patients. Probably you can have foreign patients and you will have to communicate in English. Or when you're studying like I don't know, different studies like higher degrees, right? When you get to a doctorate or whatever, you can, they might be in English. So English will be really helpful for you. Okay, so these were the questions related to the languages. Okay, now, let's go to the reading. Let's see if we're gonna be able to finish the exercise of the reading. It says bilinguals, exotic birds, or everyday people by Johan Acosta. Okay, we're gonna read the first paragraph. Ramirez Nunez, can you have me to read the first paragraph, please? Are you there?
Sí.
Okay, go ahead.
Grandpa shouts, dinner's ready in Danish. My mother asked me in English to set the table. As I do so, I catch the theme tune of the Brazilian soap opera on TV in the living room, where my sister is relaxing. She speaks perfect. What? How do I say that?
Portuguese.
My father asked sorry.
Don't worry, I'll finish it. My father asked her to record the program in his native Spanish, and we take our places at the table. And what's on the menu? On the menu, Italian meatballs. Okay, so here we have different cultures, different languages, but it's the same family. What did I do? Okay, so it says grandpa shouts in Danish, mother asks in English. The sister is listening to Brazilian. Well, I'm sorry, to Portuguese. Brazilian is not a language, to Portuguese. The father in Spanish. And at the end, they all gather to eat Italian food. So it's funny, right? Okay, Samantha, can you read the next paragraph, please? We know we aren't.
Yes. We know we aren't a normal family. At any moment, you might hear conversations in 4 different languages. Almost everyone understands almost everything. But what is normal these days? My mother is half Danish, half English, and my father, who is from Bolivia, speaks Spanish and Guarani. Because of my mother works, she is now retired. We live in Brazil, Italy, and Germany. So we speak it up 3 more languages. Now, as adults, my sister and I both speak 6 languages.
Okay, good. What does this mean? That they speak all these languages because of the culture of each of the relatives they have. And also because of the environment and the context they were involved, they were exposed. So if you are exposed to a language, you are going to, you will probably learn that language, right? This was very common for me to experience when I was in Canada. There were many people from countries from all over the world, and they were learning languages. Not only they were learning not only English, they were learning like languages from the people that they were meeting, and it was pretty interesting because it's more common than we think. Okay, Jaciel, can you read this paragraph, please? Being bilingual.
Yes. Being bilingual, or in our case, multilingual, has so many advantages. All the recent research suggests we benefit in many ways: social, cultural, economic, academic, and intellectual. The research has also destroyed some of those persistent myths.
Okay. Yeah, there are many, many myths. Okay, let's go and read. Sorry. Let's go and read this other paragraph. Ana Denise, can you help me to read the first paragraph of this page, please? One of the myths. Are you there? One of the myths.
One of the myths is big, bulk is among as is well. Bilingual where league writing exit beer stage tour is stage outdone 15% of the world inhabit eating are bilingual. Tech continues with tech most linguistic diversity are Asia and Africa in Niger alone. No sé cómo se dice el número. Está silenciada.
500.
500 languages are spoken and in India
400.
400.
Okay, I think that this is not that common nowadays because it says there is, but that bilingualism is uncommon. I think that nowadays is becoming common, and it's common and more common and more common. But I mean, as it says in here, it used to be very uncommon. But well, the truth is that around 50% of the world are bilingual, which I think it's more, but well, we don't know, right? Because we are not like into these statistics, but it will be interesting to learn a little bit more of that. Okay, Carlos, can you help me to read these other paragraphs?
Yo.
Oh, go ahead, Grecia, sorry.
Some people believe that you have to learn both language. As a child to be bilingual, my sister and I are fortunate in this respect. But we know countries people who have mastered a second language as adults. They might not have such people pronunciations as thought how are here. Their second language as children, but they are still completely fluent and account.
Okay, very good. This is very important. It is proved, and it's like 100% sure that if you learn a language when you are a child, it's gonna be easier for you because you're gonna grow up with that language, with your first language and the language you acquire depending on the context you're being exposed. But that doesn't mean that if you're an adult and you want to learn another language, it's impossible. The thing is that it's gonna be probably a little difficult because we as adults, we want answers to every single question, and we want to translate every single word, and sometimes that is what makes it difficult. So if we are open-minded and we don't question it that much and we just go with the flow, it's gonna be easier for us to learn the language. And one thing is pronunciation, and another thing is accent. One thing is that you pronounce the words correctly, and another thing is that you have your own accent. Anyone who learns English as a second language will speak English as a native speaker. Nobody. It's the same as if they learn Spanish in the United States, for example, being our neighbor country. So if they learn Spanish in the United States, they will never speak the same as we do. They will probably speak very natural, sound natural, and maybe it can be hard to identify the accent in case that they learn very well English, but it will happen the same to us. So don't feel bad or don't feel ashamed to speak English if you consider you don't have a perfect accent, because nobody will have it. Okay, so it says in here that we can still be fluent and accurate even though if we speak English out of their country. Okay, after that speech, Karina, can you read the other paragraph, please? Another.
Okay. Another myth about bilinguals concerns identity. Some people think we have split personalities as kids. My sister and we were were often asked, but where are you really from? Don't you get confused? Not all I. am me the product of many cultures. It can switch language easily according to where are me perdí.
Where I
Where
am.
am and wam. Am with and this seems completely natural to me.
Okay, so it says in here that some people think we have a split personalities because you were taught one way and another way, but it says in here not at all. What may happen is that maybe if you are bilingual, you will think some things in one language and speak it in the other one. For example, I remember a classmate when I was starting the career, there was this classmate who said that he was exposed to English when he was very little, but his mother taught him El Padre Nuestro, like you know what it is, right? He was taught the Padre Nuestro in Spanish. So he says that he was always speaking English, communicating in English, doing everything in English, but that he would only say it in Spanish because that was the way he was taught. So it says in here that we can learn sometimes in some things in our language, in our native language, and another thing in another language, and we're not gonna be different. We're just gonna maybe combine them. We can combine them. That's why nowadays Spanglish is very common. And what can happen also is that you forget some words, and not that you forget, that you will never remember, that sometimes you can remember at the moment the words and you change them, you switch them from Spanish to English, and it's very common and natural. The last paragraph, who wants to read it?
Me.
Go ahead.
As for the benefits, bilinguals do better on certain tests, are better protected against mental illnesses such as Alzheimer, gain insights into other cultures, have access to more of the world's information, and are in some contexts more employable. Being has made me who I am, and for that I'm grateful.
Very good. So it says in here that bilinguals do better in certain tests, because what I could say about being bilingual is that sometimes people think that being bilingual is just speaking one or two languages, or even, well, bilingual is just two, right? To speak two languages, but actually not. I mean, because it's not only learning the language, you also learn about the culture, you get interested in the music, you get interested in the original language of the movies and that. So you open your mind a lot and you learn more, and you like see that there is more than just one language, one culture, and you start learning, and you're always gonna want more and more and more, and you will want to be exposed to the language, so you will be able to communicate and use the language with people who will understand you. And that is like confirmed. I mean, it happens, and it will happen whenever you learn and you feel ready to use that language. Okay, we're gonna stop here. We didn't finish with the exercise of the reading, but we don't have that much time. So we're gonna stop here, and tomorrow we're gonna continue with the reading. So basically, let me just take attendance, please. Alvidres Prado.
Present.
Ceballos López,
Present.
Córdoba Márquez,
Present.
Coronado Ortiz,
Present.
Cruz Álvarez,
Present.
Gámez Carrizosa,
Present.
Gutiérrez Yepis,
Present.
Hernández Andalón, Martínez Grijalva,
Here.
Miranda Valenzuela,
Presente.
Ramírez Núñez, Ramírez Padilla,
Here.
en Villa Osuna.
Here. Here.
Yo aquí estaba, pero empezó a llorar su bebé.
Ah, sí, sí, sí la recuerdo. Ok, thank you.
Miss, ¿me escuchó?
Sí, gracias.
Ok.
Siempre te escucho. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to see you tomorrow, guys. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. Gracias.